nanongurarawa Nico sana kodoe namataka Pauna numa nananda tonlasa Mai subana numa tikona Fanwarongo nanomo nivanua Keinata nilevu tunaua Lomango voli meu bau batuka Tovolea ke balavu nabula Sana kodoe namataka
Hello.
6 months.
Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. I'm all set. Hang on, I'll turn you over.
Hello, Mr. Ray.
Hello, can you
Hello,
hear me?
Ray. Yes, we can hear you, sir, loud and clear.
Good evening.
Good.
Yeah. Charles is early tonight.
It's not Charles, it's Ray.
Right.
Yeah, Charles is coming, I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Or
he
unless he
will.
said-
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking for another backdrop.
Are you getting any snow down there, John?
Yeah, actually, I could. We just had some last night, but it's just a sprinkling. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because we've got about an inch or something.
Yeah.
It's beautiful sunny day today, but
Yeah.
just about, I don't know, 50 kilometers from here across the way on Vancouver Island, they got about a foot of snow a couple of days ago. And the same snowstorm, it seems to be, it's falling differently depending on where you are, and quite significantly. But beautiful sunny day today.
Yeah, and it's cloudy down here. Yeah.
Well, it's been very nice and sunny here today. Some cloud about, fluffy cloud about, but nice blue sky. Same for you, Scotty?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah. It was a bit chilly.
Coming in
But
again.
other than that, it was fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know why Pete keeps on coming and going, but guess he does.
Well, I think he's got Wi-Fi issues, not sure, but
Yeah, but I thought we were beyond that. We'll see.
Technology.
Yeah. There you go. It's like,
I don't think we'll ever be beyond it.
Keep changing his name all this time.
Are you there, Pete? Are you frozen? Or
Yeah.
oh, right.
Yeah. Our anchorman just texted me saying he's on the phone to his daughter in France. He'll be in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brendan can't come in because
Can you
he's.
hear me?
Yes, we can, Pete. Yeah.
but your lips aren't moving.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's a good picture. Nothing's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Well, I expect everybody's having a late tea or something.
Well, it's funny. I thought we may get busy because it's every 2 weeks now, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It is what it is.
I don't think that will affect it, to be honest, John. It
Yeah.
You know, if people will come in if they want to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that was pretty amazing that Lorenzo had been living in Wales all this time.
I mean, Cardiff,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
In Cardiff, yeah. And he,
Kind of sad we didn't know about it. Yeah.
yeah. He, I knew him from the Sun Princess, but I think he may have been on the Royal Princess as well, because the dining room captains did move around a bit, but and then he became Maitre d', obviously, right? So, but it seemed to imply that he'd been at sea for 50 years. So I'm
Yes, he
assuming
was,
he
yeah,
carried
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Sea Venture, I think, before it became the PP.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So he was with the Norwegian crew. Yeah.
There's a really good Canadian radio program here. It's called Under the Influence, and it's probably available as a podcast through CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and it's all about advertising, and it's like a 30-minute show every week. And a couple of weeks ago, they talked about the Love Boat, and the fact that, and I apologize because I can't remember the lady's name, but the fact that the original Love Boat was based on a book written by the first female cruise director, who actually wrote letters to her mum, detailing all the goings on the ship, the relationships, the funny things, the crazy passengers and things like this. And her mum kept all these letters, and she decided to turn it into a book, and then it got picked up and got turned into the Love Boat.
Well, just the
And they
name.
talked about the Love Boat being filmed on the IP, and I know the pilot was on the Sun P. Yeah, but what was also interesting. So go on.
What I was going to say, Ray, is did they have female cruise directors, whatever they called them in those days? I didn't think they did.
No.
No, well, I don't remember
not on
a female
P&O
cruise director,
Princess,
but this is in the original. This is on the Island Princess originally, I guess, right?
Before
what was
P&O
interesting,
yeah.
Yeah, what was really interesting though was and my apologies because I didn't write down the figures and things like this, but because the program's about advertising, the effect of the Love Boat show being broadcast across the US had a huge impact on selling cruises.
Yeah.
And it basically caused the cruise industry to explode. But here's the funny thing. Although we working on the ship and we were front line in the bars for sure with the passengers coming on, right? And we knew about the Love Boat, but probably almost none of us ever had seen the Love Boat show. And we weren't really advertising the Love Boat. We had the Love Boat glasses, and people would say, "Oh, they'd accuse you of being the famous bartender." I can't even remember his name.
Isaac. So don't forget, I met him a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, did you? Yeah, right. Okay, good.
You'll need to go bronze
capitalize on it. You think that they would capitalize with the show on the actual ships itself and get the crew to promote it and ham up the Love Boat aspect of it, but I don't ever remember really doing that.
It all came later, Ray. It all came later. At the time when it was going on, of course we didn't care about it. In fact, we were annoyed about it, and then it just morphed into a bigger thing. Hello, John and Goa. How you doing?
Well, very well, thank you. You're talking about the Love Boat. They've just started televising the first series out here a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, there was only one or two of the bar staff actually. The real bar staff actually appeared in it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that was the pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Shotton was one, and one or two of us were extras out on the decks walking by. But other than that, we had 2 cocktail parties at the beginning of the cruise, rather than one at the beginning and one at the end, so they could get their filming done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it created problems sometimes.
Yeah, I seem to remember one time they came on when I was on the Sun Princess and they did some filming on board. It could have been the PP, I can't remember. I remember that there was a film crew on and they were kind of getting in the way and closing down areas and stuff like this, shutting bars down. And
I think that was, what was that, 76, 77? 77.
well, for me, it had to have been after that because I wasn't there till 78. So, but
Yeah, was that before they built the actual sets ashore?
It was, yeah.
oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I was there when they filmed on the Sun Princess. They filmed aspects of Herbie Goes Bananas, and there was one of the coxswains was featured in it. I remember
Arthur
walking back
Keatings.
from shore.
Yeah.
Was it Arthur Keatings? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I
Yes.
remember always, he always looked like Omar Sharif to me. He was a very handsome man, and he was on the scene that he was in was where they were offloading the Love Bug onto the dock in it was in Mexico. I don't know exactly where it was in the film. I don't think I've ever seen the film.
There's me.
There was a little scene on the dock side, yeah.
That's all
There's
it
me
was
next to
used for
Isaac,
was the
right?
external shot.
Sorry, say again?
I said, there's me next to Isaac a
That-
couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. In the picture, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You look very nice with your stripy top on.
In the film, they have a car race.
Oh,
down the
you mean you're the
storeroom.
green at the
It
back.
wasn't
Oh,
the
sorry.
storeroom. It wasn't the storerooms of the Sun Princess. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Right. We got a lot of no shows tonight, but it's okay. Yeah.
Where's your assistant? Is he not coming
He is.
into that?
He's on the phone talking to his daughter.
All right.
Hey, Bob, that picture you got of the girls, I tell you.
Oh, fantastic, that, isn't it?
Oh no, I mean, I love it so much that. Oh, hang on a sec.
He wants one.
Is this the cockapoos?
Yeah.
You have to turn that into a Christmas card or something. You sell it to Hallmark.
Yeah. Could do.
Except
I
they're
reckon.
behind bars.
Actually, they were looking at him, Ray.
They were outside, yeah. There they go. There they are.
There they are.
Yeah,
there they
that's an
are.
amazing picture.
Yeah.
I'll get out of the way.
So how old are they now? They're like 3 months. or something?
5 weeks.
Oh, 5 weeks. Oh,
5
right.
weeks, yeah.
Wow.
So we've got another 3 weeks
Wow.
before we get rid of them. Yeah.
Is there a
They've all been-
lineup of people at your door trying to get
Well, they've all
photos?
gone. They've all been sold, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they've all been sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's paid for his ticket to Australia, Ray.
Oh, it's
Yeah, Daisy better get going again.
No, no, we don't want any more. Early days. Poor old Daisy, no. Yeah, so get that Winston blame for that.
Yeah.
I think she's only a baby herself. She's not a year old yet.
Yeah.
That's young to have puppies, isn't it?
That's what I thought, yeah. But apparently they can have them after about 4 months.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
There we go. Chris.
I'm feeling a bit
Chris.
knackered tonight. I've had a dinner party tonight before I joined you. I've been cooking all day.
Anyone we know?
We wondered why you had that nice frock on, John.
It's only a top. I've got nothing underneath.
Oh,
Please stay sat down.
Yeah.
walk
Hello,
past
Mr.
your
Johnson.
place, John.
Good evening.
Well,
Good morning to you, John.
Good evening.
Hello,
Hi,
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
How's
walked past
everybody?
your place the other day, John, and it's still
Yeah.
there, still safe and sound.
Yeah, yeah, all good. Yeah, yeah.
So where's Mr. Inch today?
Steve's at Wembley, is he?
No, he didn't go to Wembley. He went down
No?
the pub.
All right.
He's probably on the bus coming back.
Yeah.
Watched it
And
the easy way.
Dave Inge is on his daughter's in France at a ski resort, so he's on the phone to her right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just wondered.
Yeah.
So next Sunday, I'm going to lunch with Tony Freeman Kosh again, meeting up again. The photographer that was on the Sun with me for a while.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That was banging Sally, Chief. We're meeting at the Whale and Ale pub in San Pedro. Anybody been there?
No.
No.
Probably.
I've never been there either, but it's in San Pedro anyway. So
Yeah, I'm not sure that was there when we were there.
maybe not. Yeah, I
Yeah.
It's not in the
looked it
ports
up.
of call, is it?
Is it at Ports to Call?
No, that it wasn't there. I think it's probably up on Sixth Street or somewhere.
Hmm.
Where the main drag is up there. What's
Yeah.
it called?
I expect San Pedro has changed a bit since we were there.
Yeah, it has. I haven't been down there for a few years, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely changed.
I was there about 5 years ago. We went in a place that served draft bitter, and it was somewhere near the aircraft carrier. What's it called? Midway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Midway. Yeah.
Right down the waterfront way there. It was good. Good beer. I
Uh-huh.
didn't know they made beer like that in the States.
Oh, they make excellent beer in the States. You can get better beer here now, dare I say, than in the UK.
Oh,
There's
really?
so much choice. Craft beer, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
it's incredible down here, especially in Southern California. You're spoiled for choice here.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of wines here now, beers. It's like on the same par, same
Yeah.
level.
Do they still have cold duck there? Wine?
Cold Duck. Gosh, that's
Yeah.
a name I remember from years ago.
I know. Vile wine. I remember when we used to have our meal in the restaurant after the passengers had gone. There'd be the chef, myself, shop
Hey,
manager.
we got a lady coming in, guys. Wow.
good.
And one of the passengers gave us a bottle of wine, none other than this cold duck. Well, we had one sip of it and sent it out the playhouse. It remained there for 2 or 3 days. Even the Goins didn't like it.
But,
Not even good enough for cooking, eh?
No,
Evening,
it
Diane.
was vile. Very, very sweet.
Hi, Diz.
Finally, our bloody anchorman's coming in. Wow, it's a long time since we've seen you, Diane.
Oh, sorry. Do you know, normally I'm up and about doing stuff on a Sunday night, and then I'm just sort of collapsed to the heap Sunday evening.
Yeah. We appreciate you coming in because the ladies have been staying away because of whatever reasons.
Probably because of all the football. And
Well,
the
it could be
rugby.
that, and there was a couple of bad jokes said, which we apologise for.
Oh,
Dear.
come on. Surely you don't think that any of us that sailed with you guys could be offended by a bad joke?
No, you're right. And thank God, Dave. I got to talk
Probably
to my
we told them.
Dave.
Hello,
Thank God you're in because the bar's empty. We need to get going here.
I would have been in half
Hey,
an
what do you mean
hour.
it's
I would have been in half an hour ago, but I've been reading all the communications about everybody who can't get in.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't get in either. I ended up going to one of the old links to get in today.
Oh, any excuse, Chris.
what do you mean?
Hey,
it's
David.
What do you mean? It's
David,
not
I've had a rough week with the computer.
I saw. Actually, I was enjoying communicating with the other fellow who thought he was Chris Johnson. He was much nicer.
He asked me for $1,000.
I discovered that the guy who, it could have been a woman because the email address was like Gloria something at Hotmail. And the phone number, because I kicked both those things out of Facebook to get rid of him. The phone number was a Romanian number. It was a 40 country code, which is Romania.
Yeah. Well, we just ordered an air fryer with him.
We'll stick him in it.
Hey, John, what do you
Anyway.
mean the crew bar was half?
Good to see.
What do you mean the crew bar was half empty? I thought we had the cream of the crop.
Well, yeah, I didn't say it didn't have celebrities.
Yeah,
I
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I said it was empty.
You have me.
Yeah, I know. This is great.
Who's the ventriloquist being a dog?
Probably Blackpool Bob.
Oh,
Easy.
the picture of all those puppies, that was amazing.
It's just been on, yeah.
Just been on. I'll get it back on again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. Yeah.
Nothing like a load of puppies, David, is there?
I thought you were apologising for the dirty jokes.
That wasn't a joke,
well,
Diane.
Yeah, but
we
you're
can
lowering the tone already, Fruits.
Oh, well.
It's all right. We can still be naughty, but once BBC Pete takes off his ear defenders, we'll have to be careful because he might hear something. Hello, Pete.
He's got communication
No.
problems.
Oh, dear.
Unbelievable.
All right, now, I'm just looking around. See, we've got special from all the way from Goa, and also we've got down near Kent as well as Vancouver, Zachary. But Hilda, how are you diddling? Are you back to good health? You know, as good as healthy you want to be. I can be.
Yes, we're okay here. Temperatures was up to 35 on our balcony a couple of days ago, and that was warm.
Oh, that's too warm.
Oh,
that's
great.
too warm.
Oh, that's excellent. That's
I've got
excellent.
fans out there because it's the top's covered anyway,
lost
so it
these
wasn't too
again.
bad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Is it busy out there, Hilda?
not very much now. The only tourists are locals, Indians. There's very few Europeans out here.
Right.
I remember going to Goa many, many years ago, probably 30 odd years ago, after the ships and everything. First of all, I kept getting people saying, "Oh my God, it's Lady Di," when I'm walking around the street.
No. Oh yeah, from all the
Really
boys.
weird. Honestly, it was really, really weird. And then I'm like looking at this guy and he's looking at me and I'm looking at him thinking, I know him. How do I know him? And do you know what? He ran our local Indian restaurant.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the ships.
I mean, there was people in the market in Panjim that were from the ships, and one of them took me home to show me his house he'd built. I can't even remember who it was. But then I'm looking at this guy in this bar, thinking I know him, and he's looking at me, and the penny dropped, and it was my local Indian restaurant, and I was like, "So what are you doing here?" He said, "I'm on holiday," and I said, "Well, don't you go to India?" And he went, "I'm just on holiday."
Whereabouts did you stay, Diane? North or south?
North, I think.
Yeah,
Not far
I'm
from
in the
Panjim.
south.
Not far from. Is it Panjim?
Yeah, I'm about an hour from Panjim on south.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're about an hour away, are you?
Panjim's about an hour away from me by taxi.
I was a bit down from Panjim, but I mean that was where we went. There's like a big market there, isn't there?
In Panjim, yeah, and there's another one further up at a Juno, which is a Saturday market.
Oh
a
yes, I
night
did that one as well.
Yeah, that's quite good there.
Do you have public toilets now?
Far and few between. Use a hotel.
When we were there was no public toilets.
Oh,
And like we
no.
were going to the bars on the beach, and it's like it's a toilet. It's like they're just pointing outside, and I could
Well,
just.
there is now on the beach.
Dishes.
Yeah, there is now on the beach. They've got these portable toilets, all the shacks on the beach now.
Oh, really? Well, we were just going in the bushes, and then we were lying on the beach a couple of days after we've been there about a few days, and the guy comes over with his cobra, singing, dancing cobra, And I sort of said to him, where'd you get the snakes from? And he's only pointed to the bushes where we're peeing. I'm like, after that, we've got a torch. And I'm going out onto the completely empty beach, flashing the torch all the way around, make sure there's nothing, and peeing right in the middle of the beach.
It's
No
a bit
more
different.
bushes. No more
A bit
bushes.
different than looking out for stinger nettles in the UK, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm the queen of wild wees living in Cornwall, but you know, that was a bit much. Now a stinging nettle's one thing. A blooming cobra is another.
Yeah. We've all had our moments with a cobra. That's what I call it, anyway.
You men don't know how lucky you are with the whole wild weeing situation.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, I do at the moment, so don't.
Well done, Fruity.
Anyhow, guys, look, I'm going to go because I need to go and get some jarry.
Right.
And I've got an early appointment at the hospital tomorrow. So
now, which one is that? Is that Southampton or is
no?
that
No, I'm back to Basingstoke tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 16.
Good.
But I was telling the colonel I've had some reactions to the radiotherapy, some not terribly pleasant ones. So it's making me feel tired as well. So I'm going to make it an early night tonight, and I'll be in touch with you all soon. All right.
Fruity, I'll send you a link.
Good luck, Fruity.
When you back from Southampton tomorrow? Or
No, I'm not in Southampton. I'm
in
my appointment's about 10:30, I think. Right. Hopefully, if everything's on time, I should be home by about 12 o'clock.
All right. Well, if I can, I'll give you a shout sometime. I'll
be in the afternoon, Dave. Anyway.
All right. Okay.
All right. Okay, guys.
Lots of love, Fruity.
Bye.
Bye, Fruity. Good luck.
Bye.
Here.
Okay, we can talk football now. There you go.
No, it's not.
If you want to talk rugby, I believe England won the rugby today or yesterday, whenever it was.
Oh well,
they beat Wales yesterday. They beat Wales yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, Wales.
Yes.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Good game.
We're waiting for Taffy.
I was going to say, I take it Taffy's not here.
He'll be coming in about 5 minutes.
They're going to get the wooden spoon, Wales, if they're not better.
They're rock bottom.
Yeah. 3 games, no wins.
We won't talk about teams that are bottom of any particular.
No, we won't, will we?
No. Bloody hell! I'm flipping up.
Hiding yesterday
with you one-on-one because I'm nearly as upset as you are, Bob. But
I can't believe it.
Okay.
Anyway, David, talking of Southampton.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yes,
they are. Yeah.
Is the juniper berry likely to be open?
I think it is. I'm sure.
Fruity was saying last week they've closed it.
Is it being renovated?
No, surely not.
Or is it just closed?
No, not renovated. The owners let it go. He's got 2 pubs and he's let that one go. He's going to run his other one.
Right.
So
Scotty,
it's something to keep an eye on, isn't it?
No, we'll make a plan. Yeah. Definitely. What time are you flying over, Chris, with Ray Zachary and Colonel? What time's your flight with? And Hildy, you'll have to come on a separate flight, won't you?
Yes.
May the 19th.
Yeah.
I don't know which flight I'm coming at the moment because it was all changed.
Really?
I got an email to say that my flight was changed. It was supposed to be direct from Goa to Heathrow.
Yeah.
And now they've changed it. I'm sailing the day early. I'm flying a day earlier, 11 o'clock at night, to Mumbai. I've got 4.5 to 5 hours in Mumbai before my flight to the UK.
Oh,
I've changed that because that's
talking about flights. We've all done it, either flying home or flying out. Obviously, you've probably got quite a few memorable ones, but pick out one of your most memorable flights for whatever reason. Steve Walker would have been picking up on the one where he was due to fly back with what's his name, Whispering Jack, Kevin O'Halloran, and
that's a classic.
apparently Kevin had his flipping passport or ticket for some unknown reason, and Kevin went off to meet up with a cousin at the airport and didn't give Steve his bloody ticket, so he had a problem. But that was Steve Walker. But what about you?
Okay, so I sat in Sydney and we were all in the bar, and you know QF1 or whatever it was used to go out at sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. Can't remember exactly. It was a long time ago. And they were calling last passengers to join. I was going, no, we've got an hour yet. We've got an hour. And in the winter, they changed the time to 3 o'clock and we all missed it.
Oh, no. Bloody hell.
I lived up to my name that day. I sort of had to go and hide, really.
Hello, Charles.
Good afternoon, all.
Hi,
Charles.
Charles.
Hey, Bob.
So, Charlie, we're just talking about memorable flights that we either flew out or came home from on a flight to join or go home from the ship. So we just asked Diane, but Scotty, what about one of your flights?
I've got 3 that are memorable.
You only want one, Scotty.
The top of the.
We all know about the one where the wing fell off. But no, the other one was when I first joined the PP. We had to join in Acapulco, so we had to fly from Gatwick or somewhere to Amsterdam. And then when we took off from Amsterdam, they burst the tyre on takeoff. So we had to land at Winnipeg with the engines running along behind us on the runway. And that was all right. We got there and we took off from Winnipeg to Mexico City. That wasn't too bad. But when we left Mexico City, we had to fly over the mountains to get to Acapulco, and there were storms, lightning, and the plane dropping about 3,000 feet. And then eventually we arrived in Acapulco, and all the roads were flooded on the way to the ship. And then when we got on board, the bar manager, who shall remain nameless, he wanted us to start work.
Oh my God, no.
I had a flight similar to that. I was going to Acapulco on holiday, and again, that was a flight from Acapulco, from Mexico City, I think it was, to Acapulco, and that was the same experience. He was up and down like a yo-yo.
But when we arrived on board the ship, I went up to the Starlight Bar, and Gizzy was up there with a can of Budweiser ready for me. And that was the first time I'd seen him for about 18 months.
Before we go on, I must tell everyone, the person just coming in is probably stoned because he's in Amsterdam.
Bobby.
The eyes are rolling a little bit.
Wonderful.
You've been to the Tulip Bar, have you?
I've been a few places today. The only thing is I can't remember where I left my bicycle.
Oh my God.
They all look the same after a while, right, Bobo? All the bikes.
They surely do. Yeah, I don't know how these people in Amsterdam find their bikes.
They remember which window they parked them at.
That's right. Lethal. Hey, Bobo, we've just been chatting about either flying to the ship or flying home from the ship with a memorable story. We will ask you what for one of yours in a moment. I was just Zachary, what memory you've got of flying out or flying back home on an unusual flight, Ray?
Oh, lots, but one very early on when it was my second trip, I think it was. I flew back with Angelo Locatelli and Aggie, and there was about 12 of us. I think Colin was there too, and we were flying from Puerto Rico to London Heathrow via New York. And when we landed in New York, and there was a big snowstorm and all the flights were grounded. We did land there, but we just came from the Caribbean. We weren't expecting to go via New York, and there was no hotels. We got put in a hotel in downtown Manhattan, and we were all frozen. We all wore t-shirts and jean jackets in those days, and I'd never been to Manhattan before, and it was very very strange. It was like a scene out of Kojak with steam coming out of the drain vents. And the one thing that I remember mostly, there was a lady in the foyer of this hotel that we were staying at, and she had like a big fur coat. She was dripping in diamonds, and she had newspapers wrapped around her legs, tied up with bits of wiry string. We didn't really know what the story was there, but we were there overnight. So yeah.
No. Yep.
Was anybody on the flight? Was anybody on the flight with me when we were going from Heathrow to Sydney, and we took off from Heathrow and the engine exploded?
Wow.
And then we so we came back, and then we were there for about 4 or 5 hours, and then we got back on the flight, and then we took off again. The bloody engine exploded again. So then we spent the night in a hotel at Heathrow, and then we went out to the flight the next day, and it was the same plane. There were so many of the passengers were sort of like, you've got to be having a laugh. I'm not getting on that flight. There was virtually only crew and a few people on the flight.
Yeah.
There was hardly, and it was amazing because there was probably like 30 or 40 of us, and that was it. No, everybody else had sort of said, that's exploded twice, I'm not getting on there. And I'm like, I don't want to get on that plane, but you've really got not a lot of choice, have you?
Oh dear. Well, you're
we
here
had
to tell the
quite a
tale.
fun flight that time.
Yeah. So.
And I am a member of the Mile High Club.
Oh.
I shan't name the guilty party.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, go on, we all want to know.
Nah.
Barbara, do you remember that flight? Yeah.
Is he in this one?
In those days, Jumbo Jet, because it was the 747s, wasn't it? The toilets were a lot bigger.
Hey, that's why she asked if anybody was on that flight with her. She can't remember.
No, it wasn't that flight.
All right.
Hey, Blackpool Bob, obviously, back one from you.
Well, mine was very similar to Diane's, but it wasn't a crew flight. We were on a golfing trip with my mates from Blackpool, and we went to Portugal. On the way back, we took off from Lisbon, coming up to Manchester, and we got over the Bay of Biscay. And I was just thinking that the engines don't sound like they normally do, and all of a sudden there was the huge explosion. And
oh God, at least we were in the air.
I didn't say flipping heck, I can tell you. I looked out the window and I thought, Jesus Christ, there's a fucking long way to fall. Anyway, he sort of turned it round very slowly, and we got back to Oporto, where they kept us there for a few hours, and then they put us on another plane, fortunately. But they filled us up with ale and whatever we wanted. It was all free. Everything was. It was.
At least we were only taking off. We weren't in the air when it.
Oh, we were about 30,000 feet up. Right.
Oh,
I would have pooed my pants.
But we're moving on to Chris in California.
Can you say hi to Taffy first, Dave?
No, we said, oh, sorry, Taff. Well, we've put our hats on. That's acknowledgement.
Hi, Taffy.
Sorry, Taffy. Sorry.
No problem.
Cheers.
Commiserations for yesterday, Taffy.
Oh, here we go. No, that's it. So, Chris, what about a flight story?
Oh, well, probably the flight when I signed off the Sun Princess and flew to Southern California. It's before I bought my house. So I was staying in a hotel down there, but from Vancouver, I was flying CP Air, but I didn't get on the plane because I got bumped off the flight because, you know, in those days they used to oversell them all the time. So I had to wait around, and I got a flight down on Western Airlines, I think it was back then. But unfortunately, my luggage had gone, and I had all the salmon that I caught up in Alaska in my suitcase, frozen, and my hiking boots in a suitcase. But everything else I had with me. So anyway, when I got down to LA, I stayed in the hotel, and fortunately, my luggage got delivered the next day, and the salmon, fortunately, was still pretty well frozen. So
lucky.
Yeah, so I was lucky. So that was a bit of a waiting game, nervously.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Now, Pete, obviously, we do need a story. It could be a long one, but we want to hear it.
It was a long flight. Yeah, it was the same as Diane's, and I don't think I was on the flight, so I can't be blamed for the other thing. Because it used to take almost 24 hours, wouldn't it, Di? The actual flight with the stopover to Sydney.
We used to go Heathrow, Bahrain, Singapore, Sydney, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we stopped in Bahrain, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was in the days when the crew, it was over 100 of us crew were on there. It was complete crew change. But on the plane, you can move about and you can smoke. And we had you could have so much to drink.
That must have been the same one we was on, Pete, from Sydney.
Yeah, Qantas.
Yeah, QF1. It was QF1 from Heathrow and QF2 from Sydney.
Qantas, yeah. And we got drunk at least 3 times and sobered up 3 times on the flight. But we left 2 of the guys behind in Kuwait. They never, not in Bahrain. They never went back to
Here we go.
Here we go again.
Pete,
ship, the plane.
Sorry? Did any crew actually arrive back in London, Pete?
I think those guys did. Coming back from, we didn't come back by from Sydney. We came back from Vancouver because we'd done a Circuit Pacific cruise and went out to Vancouver to start Alaskan cruising. That was it, wasn't it, Charlie?
Pretty well.
Yeah. So this flight was amazing. Everybody was completely buggered.
Oh God, yeah, we used to be so trashed on those flights.
Everybody had their duty free with them.
Yeah,
the bottles were all opening on the plane. Everybody was opening the bottles on the
They
plane.
used to just leave the trolley at the back with us.
Yeah.
In the meantime, your Bluetooth headphones don't work very well, Pete.
Are they?
So now moving on. Now, obviously, Charlie, you've had a few flights. What was that one?
Well, much the same as what Pete was just saying there. They were threatening to throw us off and everything because we were so rowdy and what have you. And like you said, the air was just thick with cigarette smoke. You could smoke there. Almost everybody did. Everybody did.
We got bumped off once in Bahrain because there was a problem with the flight, and there was one little bar in the far corner of the airport that was licensed. Nowhere else was licensed, and there was about 3 of us girls, and all the rest were guys. But if we wanted to come out of that bar, all these men in their like white outfits were just all sort of waiting for us to come out of the bar. And when we walked out of the bar, they all started like pantsing on us. It was horrific. We had to get an escort to go to the toilets.
Wonderful. But was this the time you stayed in there most of the flight then?
Honestly, it was
That
really
was the Mile High Club, was it?
Huh? No, that wasn't that time either.
that was the
Just
10
curious.
mile club, 10 Mile High Club. Ish.
You've got to remember, guys, there was only half a dozen of us, and there was 300 or 400 of you lot.
Oh, no, it's great, wasn't it? It's great.
It's great. I used to go home on leave and be sort of like standing at the bar waiting for all my drinks to appear, and I'd be like, "Who's getting my drinks?"
Say no more. Hello,
It was either the Mile High Club or the Sea Level Club.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got them all.
The Down Under. Hey, Colin, we'll ask you in a minute. We've just got Bobo and Taffy, and Colonel might have a story as well.
Yeah, I do, Dave.
About the flight back, flying out or flying back to the ship, and a story that might be worth rekindling. But no, Bobo, what flight have you got in mind?
I think the most memorable was paying off in Mombasa, and then I paid off there, and then we had to get to Nairobi, and they put us all in a bus, and we sort of went all over safari parks to get to Nairobi. And it was pretty good. It was, I forget now, maybe 3 hours away, or might even be a bit more. But I always remember there was all of us on the bus, busting to go to the toilet, literally, because literally they're drinking on the bus and having a great time. And of course, what you drink has got to let it out. And then all of a sudden, we're rushing out the bus, and we're in the middle of nowhere, you know, virtually, you know, looking at lions and tigers. And all of us, I actually got a picture of us all in the line having a pee. And then we made it to the Nairobi, and they wouldn't let us into the airport at Nairobi. So they sent us all to this shack. And we literally had to wait there. I don't know what the reason was, maybe because we were drunk and unruly, but there was a load of us. It was a big crew change. And I always remember that flight, and I'm thinking, you know, by the time I got home, I was absolutely knackered. But the experience on the plane was, you know, so much, you know, smoke and drink. And you literally, when you know, got into that aircraft, you couldn't see anybody because of the smoke. Yeah. But that's my story, nice and quick.
Nice one, Bobo. And now we got the Taffy, Colonel, and then one from Colin. Taffy, have you got a memorable flight?
Oh yeah, I can top all of them.
Good boy.
Go on then, Taff.
Of course.
Bring it on, Taffy.
The flight was. We know how long the flight is out to Australia, but this lasted almost 3 days before we made it. I think it was the Oriana. We were the last stop was, instead of going to Sydney, we had to go to Melbourne, and they put us in the same hotel as the Bay City Rollers.
Oh my God!
Nearly all of us guys got laid that night.
By the Bay City Rollers.
Nearly all of us, and anyhow.
By the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, it was a long flight, but I still had a smile on my face.
Brilliant.
And then you went to back as soon as you got.
There were a lot of groupies around, right, Taffy?
Oh yeah. Oh no, we were all road managers. We made up all these stories.
Yeah.
All the time.
A lot of groupie girls, though.
Because we all had British accents, so they thought we were with the band.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Took
cheers.
nearly 3 days.
That's a good one, Taffy. But Colonel, have you got one to top the top?
Well, I got a couple. They're real short.
Yeah, but you said only one, Johnny.
No, I'm doing two. I'm doing two. It's real good.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
I think it may have been the first time on Oriana when they decided that you needed to go home after 4 months, and so it was an Aussie, and I went back with the assistant projectionist, who was pissed off with P&O. We get to Honolulu for the next flight, and there's something wrong with the immigration, so we stay in a hotel. Well, he signed all the checks in the hotel. We had lobster, steak, the whole effort. It was great, and he's the one who signed it. We get back to England, obviously, like hours or days later, and it may have been when they decided to. They told me that I was changing ships, but they said, "Oh, by the way, you've got a huge tab from Honolulu," and I said, "Well, no, it wasn't me. I didn't sign that." So that was that one. Oh, the other one. The other one paid the bill in the end. The other one is Ollie. We were flying back from the Sun Princess, and I had a headache. And I sit next to Ollie, and he says, "Take a couple of these." And what he gave me, obviously, later on I found out was speed. And so first time I had been a druggie.
Headache went right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Hey, Colin, have you got a memorable flight you like?
I have actually, strangely enough. Just a short one. I came off the ship in Acapulco actually, and I was by myself. So I had to fly to Mexico City. I think the captain, Crichton, was supposed to fly home at the same time, but the other captain had not turned up. It delayed flights and stuff like that. So I flew by myself to Mexico City, and had a Braniff flight. Remember Braniff Airlines? All the different color aircraft they had. Yeah. So I had this flight from Mexico City to London. But the unfortunate thing was there was something very dodgy was the aircraft. And we went down the runway 3 times and halted 3 times before they said, we can't do this. We have to have a major overhaul on something. And I think, oh, what a lovely day I'm having now, aren't I? You know. But eventually, about 5 hours later, this plane took off and we had an absolutely unbelievable, perfect flight from Mexico City to London. But the point was 3 times down the runway and halted.
Right.
Stopped the plane taking off because there was a major fault. And that's why I'm still here today.
That's like the return flight I was on.
That was lucky.
Braniff Airlines, yeah, that got bought out by
Did you see the plane Diane put up?
Let's have a look. Oh, no, it's gone, Diane.
Oh, where's it gone?
So, no, that,
yeah.
was that the...
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Diane. Look, this is we need this. Now, you know, Johnny said that he's got 2 short stories, which means I can do the same then on the flight stories. Now, the first one was we were flying back from LA after doing Mexico, and there was about 4 of us all in a row on the flight. But we'd all bought the Mexican sombreros, you know, those the nice ones, you know, the colour like really, but they're pretty big, aren't they?
So, the gay ones, David, the gay ones.
They're the ones. They're the favourite. I wonder why I loved them so much. So we're all wearing the Capellas, dear, and of course all the people complaining because you know it took up the whole of the seating. But we obviously we managed to get through and survive it. But the other one was flying back from that was from Sea Princess actually, Pete. But I think you might. I'm not sure if you were on the flight or you'd stayed on for another few trips. But it was flying back from Sydney, and of course you want to get a memorabilia at the airport again to take home. So we all, but I bought this koala bear, just a little koala bear to take home for nephew or whoever. And it was in the days when the flights, you didn't have your own screen behind the seat, from in front. It was the screen, you had the screen. The big section just had a movie screen, didn't it? Yeah. And I was sat on the front seat, right in front of this movie screen, and we were and the film was Watership Down with these bloody rabbits. But it was all these rabbits, plus it also had a koala bear, because I kept putting it up when they were doing all the singing and the dancing. I got attacked by the attendant saying, "Will you put that thing away?" I said, "It's a koala bear. It's going home for its family." Anyway, they'd all been moaning and groaning. But do you remember that the headphones were those that like a stethoscope? Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember all that?
Orange thingies on. They were orange, weren't they?
Yeah, and big long plastic tubes coming down, and you had to try and listen to the movie at the same time. But yeah, good memories. So that's that. We've done the flights. All right.
Charlie hadn't done one, has he?
Who?
Charlie.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. He did another Mile High Club, same as Diane.
All right.
Is that right, Charlie?
Not at the same time, though.
Yeah.
I'll have to throw this in quickly then, because it was mentioned on Facebook a couple of days ago on one of the groups. It was about a flight out because I flew out to Ascension Island via Dakar. From Bryce Norton on a RAF plane.
Yeah.
Airways.
And we got to Ascension Island. I'd always been dreaming of going on a helicopter. I've always wanted to go. Well, I tell you, I never ever want to go on a helicopter
again.
All it does is goes up about a couple of 100 feet, a mile off the island, and drops down on the after end of the Uganda.
That's it.
But they didn't even bother to close the frickin' doors. So all the heat and the noise from the engines and everything is all coming back into you in the helicopter, and you can see the sea, about 200 feet below. Oh Jesus!
Yeah. He had the front doors closed though.
I was terrified, but at least I fulfilled my dreams. So
that's right.
I've done that as well.
Yeah,
and the guy, one of the Air Force guys, Royal Air Force guy, he's standing at the door just hanging out while it's flying over.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of helicopters without doors because I'm always shooting pictures out of them, and they take the doors off for me.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
God, good luck to you.
You're a brave man, Chris.
Just a little update on Jack Brennan. He's still in hospital, waiting for him to come out. And his son gave me an update on what's happened. So, as soon as we made contact with him, he kind of blood pressure dropped down. He's been in hospital ever since.
Who's that, Charlie? Who's that, Charlie?
Jackie Brennan.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So we're just waiting for his son to contact me, and he said when he comes out and he's well enough, he'll get in touch with me again.
Well done, Charlie. That's Jack the Rat.
Yeah, Jack the Rat. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well done. Well done, Charlie.
Well, Pete Stevens found him. Really, I just followed up on it. Yeah. He found the little bit of details, and I just went on Facebook and followed it up and got a little bit more. Yeah.
Were you on the flight on that helicopter in Grouse Mountain, David?
Say that again. Oh, Grouse
Mountain. We went up to Grouse Mountain. In the helicopter.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do remember. Flipping heck.
I can't remember coming down.
No, I can't. It's a plenty of snow up there, wasn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ollie might have been there as well.
I think he was. Yeah.
I should tell you a conversation I had with Mrs. Kling about helicopters. Okay, you know she's doing all this travel stuff, so we're going to Hawaii, and she says, "Let's go on a helicopter tour, right?" And then she says, "Well, if for an extra $300, I'll take the doors off." And she regretted that.
Let's take the doors off.
Yeah, $300 to put them on.
I don't know what the price was. But,
sorry, I just don't wish to be picky. I'd have paid him $300 to keep the doors on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't wish to be picky.
Yeah.
I got a question for Chris, Dave. I just want to ask him, has he got snow where he is as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we had snow flurries in my backyard yesterday in my neighborhood.
Jesus.
Yeah, but nothing settled. It wasn't enough to settle because the ground was so wet anyway.
What's that stuff?
Yeah.
It's snow.
Yeah, what's snow?
In Los Angeles.
Yeah, what's snow?
Yeah, there was snow in a lot of areas yesterday.
I saw that.
Unbelievable. It got down to the low 30s and
the
rain turned into snow.
It looked great on TV.
I live 1,000 feet up and above sea level, and so the snow was down to that level. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, there have a lot of snow up in the San Bernardino Mountains.
Yeah, there is.
There's lots of skiing going on at the moment.
Well, not at the moment because there was so much snow came down, but I think this week people will start going up there.
Right. Okay.
It's right now because the conditions are just so extreme. They don't want people going up there.
I had the good luck to go up to Big Bear and Arrowhead.
Yep.
That's a great place to go to. It was lovely.
Lake
Absolutely
Arrowhead's nice,
wonderful.
pretty little village.
Yeah. It's what wonderful place to go. Loved it.
Have
up
you
there.
got your
I went-
ski jacket on now, Colin? That the
No.
black
This is
bomber?
just
You are the
T-shirt,
black bomber.
It's just, yes, I know. Thank you, David. No, this is just a thermal vest.
The ski
Just
jacket's
keeping
getting on
just
next.
keeping the cold out. That's all.
Oh, we haven't asked. We haven't asked Colin. Are you coming to the P&O luncheon, Colin?
I'm not sure yet. Don't
Okay.
know. We're talking about the one in Southampton, are we?
On the 19th of May. Yeah.
Right. I haven't heard anything about it at the moment.
Oh, you haven't?
No. Not
Well-
anything about that yet.
Then you should have been on the email from David Jukes.
Yes, I know. I understand that. But
Okay, well, if you could check into it, because I really want to.
I will. I will check it out, John. Are you coming? Are you?
Yeah, I am. Of course I am. Yeah, and I want to thank you again for last year, Colin, when you were all prepared to take me and Mrs. Kling back up to Heathrow, and then we got the stupid COVID.
I know. Yeah. It was outrageous.
Yeah,
I'm coming. It would have been good, John, but it didn't happen. No.
It's all good. I'm sitting next to my bestie friend, and be good.
Good. Okay, that's okay. But it's,
I'm planning. I don't know if any of the other girls are planning to go. I'll see if I can get some of the other girls to come.
That would be nice.
You got a table for two.
Diane, that
then,
would be
Phil.
good. That'd be good if you could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
It
nice.
always seems to be me goes to these things, nobody else.
Yeah, do try. That'd be great. You know.
I
Doesn't
will
seem
next-
like a year ago, Colonel, you were here. We
Oh,
bumped into you in the back of David's garden.
That was special, especially when I
Yeah, it
didn't
was.
recognise you, Scotty.
Has anybody heard about a reunion in Ireland with the Hoagmeister and Seamus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody heard about that?
Brendan's got it all in hand, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scotty, is that right? Has he? Brendan's got it in hand, has he?
Yeah.
I think he's party to it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
He's on the
that-
committee.
He's on. he
He's
is
on
the
committee of
committee.
3.
And does that, if it's Brendan's organising it, is it somewhere around September, October?
I really don't know.
I think September was mentioned.
Yeah,
but
it was, yeah.
If I said
Okay.
the 12th, I'm only guessing, but I had a feeling it might be around about the 12th.
Okay, fine. That's all
But
right.
if it is, yeah, hopefully that'd be good fun. That'd be another
It's,
good one.
Is
we are
anyone
definitely.
going up to Dr. Maynard's funeral this week?
Where is it?
It's in Malvern.
All right, okay.
I was going to go, but my mum, it's really quite difficult to leave my mum. She's sort of going a bit,
Yeah.
it's sort of, I've got to go up for 2 or 3 days, and I was going to go, but she's just not very well at the moment, so I couldn't.
No. I imagine a lot of people will be going.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were going. I really wanted to go because he was such a good guy, but it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Who's the Dr. Maynard? Did you say?
Yeah, Peter
Yeah.
Maynard.
Peter Mason.
Oh yeah, okay. The name rings a bell. I can't remember where from, what ship.
He was I tell you what, when I first did my first sort of season out on the O, I actually thought I was pregnant, which was all a bit of a tragedy in those days.
After the flight.
It would have been a complete nightmare. But you know what? Bless him, he had everything organised for me in Sydney. And he got me down as having appendicitis. Anyway, it was all immaterial because, it didn't happen. But he was such a good guy because I would have got sacked and sent home and everything. And he was like, no, don't you worry, I'll sort it all out. And I thought, so nice.
Yeah.
Really sort of just nice. I would like to have gone, but it's just difficult.
I think the ship surgeons, all of them were nice guys.
Decent guys, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Ian Fleming.
Yeah. Yes.
Strange enough, I think his name was Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
Not the writer. Not the writer. Stuart Fleming.
Yeah.
Stuart
Fleming. Stuart.
Yeah. He's married to one of the Nolan sisters.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I've
married
got
to
to
one
go,
of the
guys.
Nolan sisters.
I've got to go. My phone's going. So I'll catch you all soon.
Okay.
All right, Diane.
Bye, love.
Good to
Bye,
see you.
Diane.
Diane.
Coming in, baby.
Bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, Stuart was on the Sun Princess maiden voyage.
Oh, sorry, who was that? John?
Stuart Fleming was on the Sun Princess maiden voyage.
Oh, right,
with,
okay.
Oh.
Alison Ross. And Alison Ross was the nursing sister.
Oh, right, okay. I remember Alison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. This due at the 19th. Louise has just picked it up on the email. She's seen it
Okay.
now.
Great.
Great,
Okay.
great,
Yeah,
great.
there's
That-
a
that's
there's a
May,
form.
May 19th, yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
19th.
Okay, all right, okay. We may come down for the lunch, but may not stay.
Just
overnight.
do a day trip.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
that far for us to go. It's
No.
60, 70 miles or something, you know.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that Colin, that would be lovely. It'd be great.
Yeah.
to
Are
see
you going to go,
What,
Dave?
what,
are you?
what day is
Yeah,
that normally?
Yep.
It's
We'll
a
be there.
Thursday,
We're there.
It's a weekday.
It's a
normally.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday, isn't it?
Friday.
Friday?
Always a Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right. And Ray, you are quiet, but you are invited. You know that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You
You deserve it.
Those
Whereas
guys got
Bobo, you are invited, but you can't bring any of the homegrown from Amsterdam.
Why not?
I got a question for Bobo. Bobo,
Yes.
did you manage to find the red light district?
I couldn't tell you that. I'd have to kill you.
I'm gonna say you didn't bang off this afternoon, did you?
Taffy? No. Well, I'm not quite sure. I got a bit confused when I couldn't find my bike. So,
Right, so I have a question for Ray, actually.
What was her name?
You living
Yeah.
on Vancouver Island?
No.
You living on Vancouver Island?
I live on the mainland.
It's not my fault. I would say Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
saw it. I
about,
love Vancouver Island. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Victoria.
I'm about halfway up Vancouver Island. Hang on a second here.
Halfway up Vancouver Island.
There you go. There's Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay.
That's close
Amazing.
enough. I'm not
Okay.
changing where you live, Ray.
Yeah. No, that's a nice postcard. That's a nice postcard you've got there, Ray.
Yeah. But Vancouver Island is just across the water.
Okay.
I'm not
I'm on the
changing.
mainland. On the mainland.
Are you a little bit cold there at the
Based in
moment? are you?
Vancouver Island.
Yeah, as we got snow here today, but
Oh, okay.
not much.
As we did in Seattle as well, yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of snow.
Ray,
Not a lot.
you at home or are you up at the lodge thing?
I'm at the lodge thing.
Are you at the lodge thing? Yeah.
Yeah, our friends are away for a few weeks, so we keep an eye on the place for them when they're away. So
Lovely.
yeah,
Great. Well, that's a nice place to be. Beautiful.
yeah.
Sounds like a wonderful
You-
place,
you've
Ray.
got so many bears in the garden as you've got where you live.
No. Actually, the bears are around again already. So, but yeah, it's funny because you just get used to them. You don't. Also, almost never. Nobody. I've never heard of anybody in the town where I live getting attacked by a bear. So you just get used to seeing them around.
Do you have a bear
They
warden
usually run.
running
No,
up and down the town saying, "Look out for there's a bear"? No.
no.
Oh yeah, the science.
He did on Yogi Bear, he had a warden, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
We get them where we are too. They come down from the canyon down to where we are quite often.
We don't hear, so we're fortunate that way.
What do you get in Bermuda? That's
Lizards.
oh, yeah.
Triangles.
Little
Triangles,
triangles.
not stars, yes? Get triangles in Bermuda, don't you?
Them too, yeah.
You want to steer clear of them, dear.
Oh yeah.
So when you go for a drive, how far is it around?
What,
The
Bermuda?
triangle.
Yeah.
Bermuda's 21 miles long and 1.5 miles wide.
Because when you went out for a drive the other night, I thought there's no excuse. You could be back in time.
You could be, but we drive pretty slow here.
Nice
20
one,
mile an hour
Steve.
speed limit.
We used to rent those mopeds there all the time when we were there.
Yeah, you can still do that. You still
Yeah.
do that.
Mini mokes.
They've
And then
actually got
I remember
little two-seater cars now. These I don't know what you call them, but they're battery-operated cars. They look like something out of a toy factory.
Smart car, no?
Yeah,
a
like
smart
little
car.
smart cars, stuff like that, that tourists can rent.
Right.
They're just a nuisance when they're on the road, you know. They're worse than the
Yeah.
bikes, actually. But, yeah.
But
You
hang
could
on,
do
don't talk about bikes. You've got Bobo and Taffy here. They live on
Right.
it, all right?
Yeah.
It's
You
not
could
all
do
that.
you could do a week about motorbike rentals that we have done stories, because I've rented motorbikes all the time when I was at sea, and I've got a bunch of stories, and I bet everybody else has too, right? Because
Well, we'll have that as the next topic, actually.
Yeah,
for,
traffic lights up.
It'll be not next week,
Lights
but
are
the
up.
week after for that. We'll have that as a. We've got 2 weeks now to tell us or give us a chance to get the best motorbike story. Yeah, and we've all got one. I know we've all done it, haven't we?
Everybody.
We have all done it somewhere. But so whatever. I mean, in the most obscure places, they seem to have bloody motorbikes, don't they? So we will do. But look, Johnny did send me a message saying that you know Watsy down in Australia. Steve Watts, he would have been in tonight, but he's obviously it's Australia time, and he wanted to. We can safely now say he wanted to watch the football and not know the score. Well, we all know the score because Steve Walker isn't in tonight, and it was not because of commiseration; it was due to celebration. So
Watch
we'll
the
do
game,
that. But I'd like to say to BBC, Pete, thanks for coming in, not for the celebratory crew bar, but for the commiserating crew bar. Can't say any fairer than that. All right.
Must be almost like having to watch Blackpool watching
Yeah,
Chelsea.
Bob, that went straight through my mind. Then I'm so sorry. But right. So anyway, well, do we have an Oscar story tonight, Colonel?
No, we don't. We don't. So we'll just have to not have one.
It'll be a shorter version after this particular episode because Oscar has gone on strike. It must be he's obviously
Run out of stories.
I've got one question for Barbo. Barbo, that protest march you joined, did you ever find out what they were protesting about?
Absolutely no idea. It was double Dutch to me. No idea.
Yeah, what was it?
I was too high to work it out.
Was it the price of ganja's gone up or something? Is it?
Yeah, of course.
I'm thinking the price of the shop windows has gone up.
Even better. Hey, but boys, look. So if you are up and about next week, Sunday morning, 9 o'clock UK time, will be the Aussie
bar.
So do if you can, it'll be great. It's a nice gathering. If not, we'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time. And Colonel, will you be there? All well?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
That'll be my last one before I flew off.
Because you're going on the what date, Bob?
The 9th. Next Sunday will be my last one unless I can get in from Australia, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course you will. Yeah, of course you will. We respect that. In fact, we respect an outside broadcast when you're with Mako and Watson.
Oh,
Well, you can do that again. It's the thing. When I stay with my nephew, he's a bit peculiar with his Wi-Fi. He turns it off at night, and it's a waste of ordinary space. To be honest with you,
right, okay.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, I'm cutting out, guys. We'll see you later.
Okay. Well, we're all going to go. We're all leaving, Colin.
Right.
Cheers.
In a couple of weeks.
Alaska. This week's report brings me face to face with a rare, if not unbelievable, phenomenon for these parts. An English tourist. Rupert Eccles Fortescue Chumley Hart widow from a rural Lancashire parish, recently bought a holiday deal from a gypsy he met in the gentleman's toilet adjoining a mother-care shop in downtown Runcorn. In next to no time, he was whisked via Vladivostok and Kodiak Island to be dumped here in the majestic forests that surrounded Skagway. Did you not find the journey wearisome?
Are you talking to me, lad? You'll have to speak English if you want me to answer you. I don't understand what you're saying.
Did you get tired on trip like?
No, lad, no. I dropped off as soon as my head touched pillar.
Well, what made you choose a location like this for a vacation?
I've told you once, twice, I don't understand what you're saying. You'll have to speak in English.
Well, what made you come here on holiday?
Well, I've heard a lot about Butlins, and several of my mates have tried it, lad. And I must say, it's not a bit like what I expected. I've only found one chalet, and I'm sure him with a real peculiar chap. He's about 7 foot bloody 13. He's never took his fur coat off since I got here, and he looks like he's not cut his nails for about 5 years.
Well, what's the odour like?
The what?
What's it smell like?
Well, I'll tell you, lad, smelling there's bloody awful, but he'll get used to it after a week or two.
So you're saying you don't like Skagway?
I don't like where?
Skagway.
Skagway? Ecky bloody thump, I thought we were in Skegness.
Well, this is Dave Ripoff, Channel 4, NBC, Skagway, or Skeggy, back to Colonel in the studio.